Hi, this is Dr. Daniels, and first I need to check my sound. So if you can hear me, just enter yes in the questions box. And today is October 27th, 2020. And today's topic is going to be a bit eclectic. The first thing I'd like to do is a case study and also a case study follow-up. And just to give you guys kind of a longitudinal perspective on something I've been working on. And then I also want to address the economic situation in the United States and how you can use what you are learning here to vastly improve your economic situation. And no, it is not multi-level marketing. Okay, so people can hear me. Yay! Okay, so today's topic is one, the importance of follow-up, and then two, the economic situation. So number one is the importance of follow-up. For those of you, well, first of all, I think each one of you should endeavor to use this information first to heal yourself and then to heal your friends and family. Whether you decide to charge or not charge, whatever, is actually quite irrelevant. The real point is to make healing contagious. And if you can just get a reputation for yourself, for one, being a healthy person, and two, anyone hanging out with you eventually it becomes healthy as well, then really you'll have no problem surviving the economic downturn or whatever, we'll just call it situation, because people actually see you as someone valuable, someone to be protected, and someone to be provided for. So that, I personally think, is the absolute best insurance. And as one of my friends would say, my wealth is in the belly of my neighbor. So that is very important. So that being said, I'd like to give you a little bit of encouragement by giving you some really case study of someone that I helped a year ago and follow-up information on what happened. And then we'll talk about what happened and what that means and how to handle these things. Okay, so a fan of mine contacted me and said, hey, you know, I want to make an appointment because I need some help with my son. I said, oh, okay. His son was an adult son, which usually I don't like getting involved in that stuff because it's really dependent in many ways on the motivation of the adult individual. And usually coming from a parent, a young adult is not very highly motivated. But anyway, it was a pretty serious problem. So this father was concerned. His son had a seizure disorder and was on quite a few seizure medications. And things were not going well. His sleep was disturbed by seizures. His daytime life was disturbed by this feeling of almost seizures, almost seizures, almost seizures, which meant that he was not able to work, he wasn't able to sleep, and his whole life was disrupted. And as a 20-something, he couldn't even be just a 20-something having a good time, let alone working. So one thing you want to get from is a history. The basic fundamental history is what is the person eating? And this is so important. Once you see what a person is eating, then you immediately know what their deficiency is. And we're all trained to say, oh, it's a B vitamin deficiency. Oh, it's an omega-3 deficiency. Oh, let's do a blood test. You would look for food groups that are chronically missing in the person's diet. Systemically, completely, totally missing. So that is the way to analyze it. So in this particular person, he was a 20-something. He was eating pizza, and you interpret that as white flour and dairy. And he was eating chicken salad. Interpret that as, well, you have to ask a little bit, like what kind of chicken was in it. And if they say, well, I just got it at a store, then you know it was boneless, skinless chicken breast. So read that as immediate deficiency of collagen, right? He took the collagen right off the chicken. And it wasn't even the best quality collagen because it was a chicken, not a cow or a pig. Then also chicken salad, you know, you've got mayonnaise in there as well. And then we had some fast food hamburgers. Again, fast food guys are getting into the healthy act by giving us lean meats. They were called out a few decades back for using horse meat, which is actually pretty healthy, and for trying to ease in a few organ meats just to save money, which would have been even healthier. But the truth in advertising people outed them. And so now we have pure 100% hamburger. And so then the person was drinking soda pop. So then they have sugar in their diet. And of course, the water was lacking. So this was the basic diet of this individual. And so we can see that the person has a very, very low cholesterol, almost zero cholesterol diet. So they've got a cholesterol deficiency. They have a connective tissue deficiency. They have a vegetable deficiency, right? Because there's not a vegetable in the mix here. Maybe some tomato sauce on pizza. So this person has a very ultra low nutrition diet. So what did I recommend? Well, I recommended a salad. Now, I used to, in the old days, I used to recommend a salad. I don't recommend a salad anymore. I say, look, get a head of iceberg lettuce, cut it like you cut a watermelon, and like a watermelon slice, bam, that's what you eat. And I'm like, oh, you know, I don't have a head of lettuce. All I have is spring mix. Fine. Put some spring mix in a bowl, even 1 cup bowl, and just nibble on it like you would nibble on peanuts. So that's what I tell people now, because people are so stressed. They have so little time. You just can't tell people, hey, you know, chop up some tomatoes and some onions and lettuce and make a really nice salad and then a homemade dressing. I used to recommend that like 30 years ago. I don't anymore. So we recommended he get a little bit of some raw leafy something or other, which would be basically some lettuce. We had to increase his water intake, which was 0. So we bumped up the water intake to 3 liters a day. And he was not an overweight guy, he's an average weight guy. Then he had a severe, profound cholesterol deficiency. We could see that from his diet, but because he had seizures, we also know that his brain is dissolving. In other words, his body does not have the ability to repair his brain, and that's why he's having seizures. And so I recommended brain. Of course, as you guys know, there's 2 recipes, either the brain pudding or the brain and scrambled eggs. Doesn't matter, either one, just eat it. And then he did have some problems with fatigue. So we gave him some brain days and some liver days. And then we added, so we fixed the energy problem with the liver, and the seizure problem was addressed with the brain. We still had the collagen problem. His collagen problem was not as bad, although we could tell from the diet he had a collagen problem. But from his symptoms, the collagen problem wasn't that big a deal. It wasn't like he was lifting weights and spraining everything. So I just gave him or recommended some ham hocks like once a week. After about a month of this, his father was encouraging him, and he stuck with it. And in a month in, he was sleeping peacefully, absolutely no nighttime seizures. The morning or daytime disturbances were absolutely gone, and his energy was excellent. He was still taking his seizure medicine. So at that point, the next step would have been to taper the seizure medicine. And his father, of course, was very encouraging. He suggested this. He said, "No, I'm done. I don't want to do any more. I'm through." And so this kind of thing is discouraging to see somebody get such good results and then just say, you know what? No, stop. I'm not going any further. But you have to respect people when they say that. You have to feel satisfied that they got a glimpse of what excellent health could look like, could feel like, and hopefully at some time in the future, they will come back to that. And so, of course, my hope for this young guy is he finds a young lady who will cook for him and keep up with everything and allow him to be 100% healthy. Because a lot of people just aren't really into personally doing these things themselves. And there's nothing wrong with buddying up with someone else who can be of help. Okay, so the other thing we can learn from that is just the profound effect that a dietary change can have on healing. It is nothing short of miraculous. I mean, I don't claim to be a miracle worker because I didn't create the food, I didn't create the human body, I didn't create the world, you know. It's just fortunate that we are aware of these relationships and can use them to help other people. So that is my little follow-up story. And I just want you to realize that the information that you have here in the members area, please, please, please read it and take advantage of it. Apply it in your life. You will see the results. People around you will see the results. They'll be impressed. They will see you as the very important person that you are, and they will treat you as a valued person. Of course, do not lecture people. Just be an excellent example. Okay, so that is the case study and follow-up. If there's any questions about that, I'd like to answer those, and then I'd like to talk about the economic gold mine you guys are sitting on and show you how to take advantage of it. Let me just make sure that I'm seeing questions here. I can click this. Bam. Okay, great. I can see more. I can see all the questions. Okay, wonderful. All right, so it looks like everyone's got a hold on that. Okay. So what can we do, or you do in these times to, what did he eat for breakfast? He didn't really. It was last night's pizza is what he ate for breakfast. Right, last night's pizza for breakfast, and then chicken salad sandwich for lunch, and then more pizza for dinner, basically. Now, okay, so brings us, so looks like we got those hands answered. So the next thing we want to take a look at is ways that you can economically prosper in these times. So there are a lot of things going on. First of all, we have the explosion of the online space. That's number one. But number two, we have the explosion of the home delivery situation. And then we have the many people working from home and staying at home. So because of these things, we have many people who are cooking at home and who are making food from scratch. What would he eat vegetables with the liver, or was it in the ham hocks? No, you have to eat vegetables with every single meat meal. And so basically you figure it out is however much meat you eat the same or twice as much vegetables. And then a carb with that. Rice is fine. Everybody eats rice down here, but up north where it's colder, people also eat potatoes and other starchy vegetables. So you can eat starchy vegetables as well. So he was advised to eat a full meal. So you have a lot of vegetables and rice with the meat. Exactly, you have lots of vegetables and rice with the meat. So because people are cooking from home, they are looking for high quality ingredients. And because they're cooking from home, their overall food costs are actually lower. And because of this, they can afford and are looking for very high quality ingredients to really get better flavor. And this is where somebody with a natural bent can really shine. So I have been doing a lot more cooking from home, cooking from scratch. I now exclusively bake my own bread. I bake my own desserts. I make my own corned beef. I pickle my own beef. All of these things I do from scratch because it's kind of more of a stay-at-home type culture at the moment. So if you look on Amazon, you will find that there are lots of amazing, awesome vinegars that you can buy. And these vinegars cost a pretty penny. Let me just go see if I can find in a price estimate here. I make pineapple vinegar. Let's see if they sell it. They don't even sell it. It is not even available. Oh, here, pineapple. So pineapple vinegar is $16 for 8.5 ounces. Let's just call it 8 ounces. And so that's $64 a quart. $64 a quart for pineapple vinegar. Okay, $64. Now, I make my own pineapple vinegar. I'm going to show you my pineapple vinegar. This is my pineapple vinegar. Now, this is a soda pop bottle. Someone else, a friend of mine, drinks high-end soda pop, $7 for a liter. And one pineapple, which here sells for $1, let's say up where you are, I might sell for, I don't know, $3 for a pineapple. Or better yet, forget the pineapple, pick some berries. It doesn't matter. But what you can do is make your own vinegar. And so how much does this cost me? This cost me $1 of pineapple plus 50 cents of sugar. So it's $1.50 it cost me. And I'm going to put 0 cost for the water because I distill my own water. And so for $1.50, I'm able to make a full gallon of vinegar. Yeah, way cool. So what we're talking about then is an investment of essentially 50 cents in order to generate $250 worth of product. Now, that's $250 worth of product, but for each 8 ounces, I'm going to have to spend maybe $2 on a bottle and $1 on a label. It's $3. So I can, basically it's $3 and that thing is selling for $16. So something that you can make at home so easily. So how do you make it? And those of you who, you can use any kind of fruit that you want. So you can use berries. I used pineapple. You can use apples. But the key thing to understand here is you must add sugar. I personally use what you would call medium brown sugar. We call it raspadura down here, but it's shaped like a hockey puck and it's brown in color. But a half cup of that, plus you fill the container with fruit, and then you fill it with water. You have to dissolve the sugar in the water first, pour it in the water. Now, if you're going to use a fruit like a berry, you have to mash it. If you're going to use a fruit like an apple, then I would recommend chopping it small. Now, some people up there recommend actually just juicing the apple, starting with apple juice. The important thing to understand is that in the fermentation process, first it becomes wine, then it becomes vinegar. So it actually takes a full month of fermentation. And so I use a 2-quart or half-gallon canning jar, and it produces 1 quart of vinegar at the end of the month. So at the end of the month, you strain it, and the pulp goes back in the jar. You might add a little bit more fruit to it and add another half cup of sugar and let it go again. So you get so basically you get 2 fermentations out of it, and 2 or 3. So the first time you strain it, you're going to get at least 1.5 quarts. And the second time you strain it, another 1.5 quarts or even more. So this is the kind of thing where you can bottle these vinegars. You can make strawberry vinegar, you can make blueberry vinegar, whatever fruit grows in your area. You can make apple cider vinegar, and they talk about the mother. And a famous brand of apple cider vinegar, which shall remain nameless, says, oh, our mother is included in the bottle. And I used to believe that they had a special mother, a special fermentation starter that they used. Utter nonsense, total, complete nonsense. The mother is made from the bacteria and fungi that are naturally on the fruit. So you don't want to rinse your fruit too clean. In fact, I don't clean my pineapple at all before I do this. Don't even peel it, as a matter of fact. And I have plenty of culture. It's never been a problem, and it tastes exquisite. And when you cook with it, when you make salad dressings with it, you just feel like you have upgraded your life to a whole other level. And in the United States, again, this sells for $16 for 8 ounces. Is organic couscous all right to use? Yes. Can a person use white rice or brown rice? Good question. If you're eating organ meats like liver, it doesn't matter if you use white rice or brown rice. The reason for that is the nutritional content of the liver is so high that it offsets the nutritional loss from using white rice. So, but if you're vegan, if you don't have liver in your diet, you absolutely must use brown rice. And so since I recommend that everyone eat liver at least once a month, if not once a week, then there's no need to recommend brown rice. I mean, but you can eat brown rice or red rice or black rice or whatever because you like the flavor. That's perfectly okay. Right, so this is my apple cider vinegar, and this is really just, even down here, it's like liquid gold. Why people don't make their own vinegar, I do not know. Oh, so how do you know it's done? Allow a month and then taste it, and it will taste nice and sharp, just like vinegar. Now, I still use white vinegar for cleaning. I do not use this for cleaning. I use white vinegar. All right, and why do you add the sugar? You add the sugar so that the organisms can have food to eat. At the end of a month, there's actually no sugar in. There's no sugar left. You can taste it. It's not even sweet. But that's why you have to add another half cup of sugar for the second set in order to get even more vinegar out of the same fruit. Okay, so that is that. Now this, if that's gold, this is platinum. So this is in a dark bottle. Now, first of all, this is obviously vinegar. It's a large bottle. It's not toxic. You use it in pretty large amounts, like tablespoon, quarter cup, half cup. Okay. This next thing that I make, which is, again, if people are interested in doing it, extremely, extremely lucrative and extremely, extremely easy. Now, did you hear me say sterilize the bottle? Correct. You don't have to sterilize the bottle. Just wash it like you would any regular dish. So this is super simple. It's not like any canning process. Stuff never spoils. Now, since this is homemade, I'm going to pop this and see if you can hear it. Yeah. So, oh, here you can see it. Yeah, you can see the smoke. Yeah. Okay. So, especially after you first make the vinegar, you're going to have to pop it from time to time. I do not make it in this bottle at this point. I make it in a fermenting bottle so the gases are released constantly all the time. And I have an automatic burping top. That means the air or gas produced leaves and no air comes in. Now with vinegar, vinegar is so imprecise, and it is so durable and problem proof that even with the burping, self-burping thing, I'll unscrew the top from time to time so air does get in and then screw it back on. And I'll do that about once a week while it is fermenting. All right, we're gonna put the top back on this. Okay, does it require refrigeration? No, I never refrigerate it. And once I make the vinegars, the longest I've ever kept my vinegar is a year. I use it up before then, but requires no preservatives. There's no issue with that. So this makes it the perfect thing for a cottage industry, a person at home to make. So you can make this, you can package it, you can distribute it. You don't have to worry about any kind of health issue because it's just low maintenance, self-maintaining, foolproof. And I do not use the whole, I use the rind of the pineapple, but I don't use the flowery top and I don't use the bottom stump. But I do use the thing down the center, the core. I include that. I just chop everything up and put it in there. And I also leave it kind of chunky, so because I want to have maximum amount of stacking space in between the pieces, so that I can get the maximum amount of vinegar in there. So I don't like to chop it really fine. I chop it in pieces that are like 2 inches by 2 inches by 1 inch. So these little triangle type wedges. All right, that's the pineapple. This is, like I said, if that's gold, this is definitely platinum. Let me just put this here where you can see it. So this I label. The pineapple, you can label it, especially if you're doing several flavors, I would label it. But I only make one flavor, which is pineapple. But again, you can make whatever fruit you have. It's very easy. Okay, so this is, looks like it's giving you guys the, oh no, you can see it. This is vanilla. And you have to put in, as you can see, the date. So I made this 10/25/20, which is a couple days ago. And you put a done date. So July 21 is when this is going to be done. And so that's what makes this so valuable and so expensive to buy. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit translucent there. And I'm trying to show you something. So you can see the liquid is brownish and there's what appears to be twigs in there. Oh, can't see it. Okay, so this is my homemade vanilla. Let's see what Amazon is selling pure vanilla extract for these days. Oh, here we are. And this is pure vanilla extract. And you can get a little bit fancy with this, but not much because it tastes so good all by itself and it's so outstanding. Pure vanilla extract. There we go. Okay, so this is pure vanilla extract. You can make your own at home. Oh, what happened? Okay, so pure vanilla extract, 16 ounces of this sells for $40. $40. So let's break it down to 8 ounces for $20. This is $20 for 8 ounces. Now, this unfortunately I can't is not cheap to make, but for me, it's expensive to make because it's not permitted to bring vanilla beans into the country. So I had to go through a lot of trouble to do this. And so I had to spend basically, if you buy your beans, your vanilla beans in bulk, it comes down to $1 a bean. If you buy the beans one by one, it's $6 a bean. So I bought mine in bulk, 6 beans in here, that's $6. Next was whiskey, and the whiskey was 7. So this cost me $13 to make 8 ounces. So $13 and it's $20. So no, someone could buy a similar product for $20 in the store. So the markup on this one is not as good, but this is even a tastier prize. So this says 6 ounces. So this is my lesser one. I only put 5 beans in there. 5B is 5 beans. That's another thing you should do. You should try and put your recipe on the label or maybe on the back of the bottle. So whenever you run out of something, you can just have the recipe right there to make more. Most of my things that I make myself, whether it's my mustard, or sauerkraut or whatever, I only make them once or twice a year. And so it's so much more convenient to just have the recipe right there and not have to fire up the computer or go searching on my phone for the recipe. But being able to make things like boutique vinegars, or in this case, spice extracts, is a very lucrative and very easy thing to do. Basically, it's like being a good farmer. What does a good farmer do? Spends most of his time sitting back, just waiting. And nature does the work. So this is something that you can do in terms of starting a cottage industry. And the possibilities, I think, are actually endless. And you can start by just making enough for yourself, using these ingredients at home when you feed your family, for Thanksgiving dinner, for Christmas dinner, for potlucks, and types of things where more than one person will be eating them, and people will say, hey, wow, this is great. Wow, this is really neat. And then people will just start asking if they can buy your ingredients. The ones, of course, they're not available in the store. So that is what I am doing myself, which is for me just incredibly increasing the quality of my life. Okay, so Jim says, what are the benefits of pineapple vinegar? So I don't discriminate among vinegars. In other words, pineapple vinegar as opposed to blueberry vinegar, as opposed to apple vinegar. But it's basically the benefits of the actual fruit itself. So pineapple vinegar, you would expect more digestive benefits due to the digestive enzymes in the pineapple. So say for a berry vinegar, like blueberry vinegar or raspberry vinegar, you would expect more benefits, say, for the vision. And a vinegar like apple cider vinegar, you would expect more just kind of antioxidant, general protective properties. But basically, what all vinegars do is they all have a pH from 3 to 4, which is a lower pH than most foods. And sometimes the pH can even get as low as 2. The good thing about that is that aids digestion by being high acid and accelerating digestion of your food as you eat, and keeping the pH in your intestines hostile to bacteria. And so all of these berries and fruits are high in antioxidants as well, so they have a lot of protective benefits. They also act as detergents and solvents. And you've heard a lot about biofilm on the internet. And so these vinegars dissolve biofilm and help remove these toxins and poisons from your body. So the advantage of pineapple vinegar over white vinegar is that it has the additional healing properties, but the flavor is amazing. And it's not sweet. It simply changes the flavor in a positive way to whatever you're cooking. How much of the rind? I use the whole rind. So, no, I don't have a pineapple. I would show you if I had a pineapple. I don't have a pineapple in the house at the moment. But literally, you just take a pineapple, twist off the top, and just slice it. Then each one of those slices, I lay on the side. Now you have a disc. And I slice the disc into 8 wedges and throw it in the jar. And that way, I just use the whole rind. However much pineapple I use to fill the jar, that's how much rind I use. So to fill a jar takes a little more than half a pineapple. So in my second go round, so the first go round I use half a pineapple, and then the second batch I'll throw in maybe a quarter pineapple to top the jar off, and I'll add more water and my half cup of sugar. Do you use the whole pineapple rind right in the fermentation? Yes, everything goes in there. Do you use distilled water for the vinegar? Yes, always, always. If I'm going to eat it, if it's going in my body, it is distilled water. So I use distilled water to boil my pasta, boil my potatoes, pressure cook my meats, everything distilled water. Use distilled water for my enemas, everything is distilled water if it goes in my body. How much of other fruit is the water before going to the top of the half-gallon jar? Oh, I just cover it. So by the end of the 1 month fermentation period, there might be a little bit of fruit poking over the top, like a 1/4 inch, just because of evaporation. Is organic couscous okay to use? Oh, when you're healing, let's say if you're sick and you're trying to heal something, no. Organic couscous is white flour. So I don't recommend white flour for someone who has an ongoing health issue. You can use it once you heal and you're in perfect health. All right, let's go look for questions. Other questions. Denise says, what is the skin routine you use to get rid of wrinkles? It's pretty simple because I'm pretty busy. I mix about a teaspoon of lavender essential oil with 1 cup of castor oil. And I'll put in maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of Lang Lang. That's Y-L-A-N-G, Y-L-A-N-G, Lang Lang. And I'll stir that together. Usually I just leave it at that. And I apply that head to toe after the shower. Wait, let's go back to the shower. Never, ever, ever, never use soap on your body. Don't do it. It's too harsh and it'll make you ugly. Don't do it. So every now and then I'll get lazy and I'll just use some soap, and I always forget it. I'll get a rash or something like that. So what I do then is I mix equal parts of sugar and salt. So let's just do the recipe. So 2 cups sugar, 2 cups salt, and I take 1 cup of almond oil. I use almond oil because for me, almond oil is neutral. So castor oil is a bit thick, and coconut oil does not agree with me. So I use almond oils, and almond oil is a very nice skin conditioner, and it's a very pleasant scent. So I take the almond oil and I mix in rose geranium oil. So you have 1 cup of almond oil, and I use a lot. The recipe only calls for 10 drops, but I use at least half a teaspoon of rose geranium oil. No, I don't recommend turpentine soap. I don't use it. I don't touch it. I don't recommend it. I mean, if you want to use it, fine. It's just not something I would put on my skin, just because I want skin like this, super smooth, not dry, nice and moist, and no wrinkles. So I don't stress my skin at all. The only thing you can even think of that might be stress for my skin is I definitely go out in the sun a lot, as much as I can. But at any rate, I mix the rose geranium, lavender, and almond oil, and then I pour it over the sugar and salt, and I mix that whole thing together, and I keep it in a pretty large jar. And I scoop out a little bit and put it in a smaller container. It's that container I use in the shower, because you don't want to let your salts get wet. But at any rate, I wet my body, and when you wet your body, you want to pay attention. As the water goes over your body in the shower, you want to, what I use my hand and I rub my skin, and you'll literally feel a whole layer of dirt, junk, whatever, just fall off. So as you rub with your hand, you'll feel your skin getting cleaner and cleaner. Then turn off the shower, and now you take your salt scrub, put a little bit in your hand, and I put it on my face, neck, arms, legs, body, every place, and then I just rinse it off. So you don't have to sit around and wait, just apply it and then rinse it off. And then I get out of the shower, pat myself dry, and that's when I put on the castor oil and lavender. So that's the basic skin care. But then there's a dietary part. So when I was vegan, my skin, I noticed, was getting thinner and thinner. So now I eat some type of pretty vigorous skin rejuvenating food at least once a week, if not twice a week. Yeah, the salt scrub recipe is already in the members area, because I did a whole show on making salt scrub. The salt scrub, by the way, makes excellent, excellent gifts. That's another thing that's very inexpensive to make, because the price of salt, well, it's pretty cheap. But I digress. The diet. So this skin, you can't mess around. You have got to eat your pig ears or ham hocks or pig's feet or cow feet or chicken feet. You can take your pick. Personally, lately, I've been eating pig ears. So pig ears is what I've been eating lately. I've not been eating so much ham hocks because I don't like to gain weight. I like to, keep my weight right at my ideal body weight. But I'm starting to do more soccer practice, which requires a lot of energy. So I might be eating ham hocks, say, next week, for example. Do you recommend a particular site for enemas? I don't understand the question. Do you recommend a particular site for enemas? I don't know what that means. Website for enemas? No, I don't recommend. I don't understand. Ah. Do you recommend we purchase your enema kit from Amazon? Yes, my favorite brand is Kangaroo. Let me just check that, make sure that that is still my favorite brand. It's called, why is it called Kangaroo? No clue. Kangaroo, Kangaroo. Kangaroo. Good. Oh my God. Oh, they have so many different enema types. Let me be more specific. Well, this can be very confusing. So I recommend their non-toxic silicone enema bag kit, 2 quarts, BPA and phthalate free. Let me, it's $24, which is not any more expensive than any other enema kit. That would be totally inadequate. So let me just get a link for that for you. I'm going to put the link in, where am I going to put the link? Ah, there's the box. I tell you, all I need is just like one more tab, right? Yeah, one more tab. Oh, here. Do you think? Okay, here's the answer. Okay, that's the link to the enema kit. It says send to all. I hope everyone got that link. That's the kit that I use. It has incredible advantages. First of all, it's translucent, so you can see when the water or enema is gone. So you're not halfway through and you think you're all the way through, or vice versa. The stopcock valve is really fuss-free and it works great. And it just makes doing an enema an amazing experience. and the different junctions where the tip meets the tube, where the tube meets the valve, and the valve meets the bag are very secure and do not fall apart, which can be a distressing experience. What type of salt do you use for the scrub? I use regular table salt. I just use regular iodized, regular iodized table salt. I buy a 5-pound bag, ultra cheap. That's a good question, actually. Do not use the chunky sea salt. That will scratch your skin and you will have scars all over your body. Don't do that. You need the finer grind of salt, not ultra fine, but about the same size as sugar. So the salt does the exfoliating of your skin and the sugar softens your skin. So you need the sugar and the salt in this recipe. Do you boil pig ears only? I'm not quite sure about that question. I pressure cook the pig ears. I just don't have time to babysit a pot for 12 hours. So I pressure cook my pig ears for 2 hours. And initially I would put all kinds of spices and blah, blah, blah on my pig ears, but I've gotten lazy. So now what I do is I just use a salt, bay leaf, and garlic, pressure cook them, and then what I'm eating them with, I season heavily, and always everything's better with hot sauce. Uh-oh, can't hear me. What happened? It says that my, oh, this is better. Yeah, okay. It says that my thing is okay. All right, I think I fixed it. Yes. Okay, great, Kimberly, thank you. After you rub the castor oil at the end of the shower, do you wipe off any excess? No, I do not. I just put on my clothes and quite frankly, I ruin them. So I have pretty inexpensive clothes and I just replace them. So my shirts cost $1, my shorts cost $2. So I just ruin them. Now, most days, I mean, it's the jungle, right? So most days I either walk where I'm going or ride my bike or whatever. But let's say you have nicer clothes. Let's say you pay a little more money than that for your clothes. There's the stay around home days and the going out days, right? So the other thing I try to do is I try to wear, like if the winter's coming and it's cold where you are, then you can put on long johns, and the long johns will get ruined and your clothes will not get ruined. That's important. Sometimes when I'm going outside, I'll do a mirror check. If my face is a bit too shiny, then I'll wipe oil off so my face doesn't look overly shiny. But generally, I don't bother with that. Now, some days I might say, wait a minute, I'm not going to put castor oil on today because I'm going out and I have to dress up. Every now and then I'll have to wear a dress. So I have 1 or 2 dresses that I rotate, and I don't like to shop a lot for dresses. So maybe I won't put castor oil on that day. I put my castor oil on in the morning. That way my clothes are ruined and my sheets are not ruined so quickly. Yes, I will. Figure what type of salt for skin scrub? Yeah. Do you recommend purchasing? Okay. But yeah, the enema kit, you can get it from Amazon or not. I'm not sure how many places there are where you can get that kit, but that is an excellent, excellent kit. All right, let me go find the questions. That's not it. That's not it. Not it. That's not it. Oh, wait, here we are. There we are. Questions. Yay. Okay. I have a friend who's trying to have a baby and has been told her husband's sperm is not developing properly. Yep. Most likely due to exposure to chemical and toxins, including nerve gas and radiation that he was exposed to in the military. How would you approach this problem? I'm thinking and get water, pooping in order, clean up the diet, add liver, brains, and cow, anything else you do. Well, first of all, find out what really is the problem. Her husband's sperm is not developing properly. You want to understand what they're saying. So what I would do is have her go to Amazon, and you can test the sperm at home, and buy the home test sperm kit on Amazon and use it. It's only $36. It's pretty cheap. And if his sperm passes muster, then he's pretty much okay. If it doesn't pass muster, then yeah, he's got to get his water and pooping in order, and he's got to clean up the diet. You could add liver at that point, but I would focus first on getting the water, the pooping, the diet in order, start him on turpentine at that point. And then, I wouldn't go so far as, well, maybe you could leave it like that. Then what I would do is give him a month of that, and then I would check his sperm count again with your $36 home sperm test kit. I think for $36 you might get several tests in the one box. And if his sperm is okay, then they can work on getting pregnant. Let's say it's not okay. Then I would add, I would add liver if he's feeling weak and tired, but I would go straight to the bull balls, the bull testicles. That would be the next step. I don't know that I'd worry about brains for him. I would go for the bull testicles. The cow feet is not really that important unless he just can't get an erection or he feels like his penis is shrinking. That's what I would do. So I would put the turpentine in after the water, poop, and diet, and before the liver. And that should take care of it for him. Okay, if there's any questions that we missed. Pressure cook for 2 hours. Is that to kill bacteria? No, Lorenzo, I wish it was, but no. I pressure cook for 2 hours to get rid of the nasty, crunchy texture that reminds me I'm eating an ear. So if I pressure cook for 2 hours, it softens it enough where I can easily eat it without being excessively grossed out. That's a good point. So you're going to find that your gross, can't eat it level is different. So for me, the 2-hour pressure cook gets me over the hump where I can eat it. If I pressure cook it for only 1 hour, it is still going to be done, but it's going to be way too crunchy, and I don't like it. So what you can do is try the 2 hours, and if it's too slimy for you, then you can back off to like an hour and a half or 1 hour. For hair, shakukai powder and castor oil on the head sometimes. Yeah, so I use shakukai powder to just get all the gunk and dirt out of having these braids in for so long. And then what I do is I actually take flax seeds, 1 cup of flaxseed and 4 cups of water. I bring them to a boil on the stove, and then I strain out the seeds. And now I have this gooey stuff. Now it turns out that that gooey stuff conditions the hair and detangles it. Amazing. And if you leave it in, it, if you have hair like mine, which is like super frizzy and stiff and impossible to work with, it slicks it back so it's nice and smooth and manageable. And so now I do that instead of the castor oil. Also, the flaxseed is not greasy, that goo. It dries. Now it's a stiff, plasticky thing, so the texture to the touch is not is not great once it's dry, but it takes about 24 hours to dry, and before it dries, it's actually pretty soft. So that's what I do now. Do you recommend lima beans or any bean products? Usually I don't. The reason I don't recommend them is because some people are sensitive to them. And so if I recommend beans, then I'm going to get basically callbacks and complaining emails from at least 30% of people, right? So that's why I just don't recommend them. It's just easier not to bother with them when cleaning up someone's situation. And as people heal and get better, then we can try and find beans, you know, on an individual basis that work for them. For some people, lentils are okay, but pinto beans are not. Or pinto beans are okay and lentils are not. So when you say, oh yeah, beans are fine, at least a third of people are going to say, that wasn't right. So I try not to give information that's going to be inaccurate for large numbers of people. On a one-on-one basis, it's a case-by-case basis. It's different, right? But in giving generalized advice, no, I don't recommend beans because it's just too much trouble. Does it matter if the castor oil is regular or black? No, it does not. I think I recall that a full enema extraction counts as a bowel movement. I'm not sure what a full enema extraction is, but let's just say an enema counts as a bowel movement. If someone takes a drug test, what is the fastest way to detox from marijuana? Okay, so we have to separate this. Are you doing a urine test or are you doing a blood test? Actually, for either test, the best way is to drink a lot of water. But even better, if you're doing a urine test, is to buy urine. You can buy urine online, and you substitute your purchased urine for your urine at the time you're doing the test. And they have all kinds of amazing devices that work really, really well. I would recommend using purchased urine. So marijuana is stored in the fat cells. If you are overweight, you're out of luck because that means that the half-life of marijuana in your body is going to be a lot longer. So you can have marijuana on Monday and still test positive on Friday. But if you're a skinny person, you don't have much fat. And so all you can do, you can just increase your water intake by maybe a gallon or even 6 quarts a day, a gallon and a half, and that'll flush it right out of your system, say in 48 hours, if you're skinny, like underweight. Lorenzo says, so I could cook the pig ears in less time. Yes, you could. It's 1 cup flax seeds and 3 cups water. And you just bring it to a boil and simmer it till it gets thick and stringy, usually about 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, so drug tests, I am not sure how to beat the blood test for marijuana. But the urine test, the best way to beat the urine test is use purchased urine. They have urine bags that you can attach to the side of your leg, which will bring your purchased urine to the right temperature. And literally, they have a little tube, and you just whip out the tube, it's like you whip out your penis, and bing, fill the cup, and you're good to go. You pass the temperature test, and the urine is concocted in the lab to pass all the yes, it's urine tests. All right. Okay, I think that is it. If there are any other questions, this is the last call for questions. Okay. Yeah, I finished that. All right. What do you recommend for snoring? I could say separate bedrooms or a divorce, but that would be, yeah. So snoring actually is not as difficult as it might seem. So there's a time when I went along with this snoring theory that they had where, pinch the nose, pull the jaw this way, blah, 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 blah. Crap, utter crap, nonsense, waste of money, waste of time. But really the best thing, women have reported to me that they can get their husband to take his vitality capsules around 4 p.m. and he gets a good poop before bedtime, no snoring. Amazing. Also, the bitters, if you can get your husband to take either the strong water orange bitters or Campari bitters, or you make your own bitters, I have a whole show on that, then that stops snoring. What happens is he'll take the bitters for 4 days, and then all this phlegm and crap that's congesting his upper airway, it just gets discharged, and bam, you have a non-snoring husband. Yay! And then, of course, there's diet, get rid of his dairy. That's it. You have a non-snoring husband. But, of course, obviously, you need his cooperation. Someone I'm working with asked about SEXT. I just say bullshit. I've not seen it work for anyone. That's all I can tell you. And I have tried it. If someone is confined to a bed and they cannot poop and use castor oil, if someone is confined to a bed and they cannot poop and use castor oil, something to expel waste, what advice do you have for this case? Okay, so Lorenzo, you've given me a lot of conditions that don't make any sense. Let's just say the person's bedridden. I say, give them castor oil, have them shit their brains out and change the sheets, and hire someone to wipe them off. That's the answer. And so for people who have taken this advice and given the unfortunate bedridden person vitality capsule, people have actually gotten out of bed and gotten to where they walk around. So the answer is you put something under them like a blue Chucks pad. You give them something to make them poop, and you change the pad as soon as they fill it up with poo. And you keep doing that and doing that and doing that, and eventually they're going to turn around and they're not going to be bedridden anymore. There are people over 100 years old who are not bedridden. They're up and about and they're walking. And so there's no reason why the people in the United States who are bedridden need to be bedridden. Yeah, so just because they're laying in bed, that is not a reason to excuse them from pooping. If anything, it's a reason to get them to poop, so you don't have to hire all the expensive help to take care of them. All right, awesome. Well, that is it. That's all the news that is news today, and I hope that people, again, use this information, heal yourself, heal your family, be an example, and you can go out there and make healthy, profitable things very easily. So that is something that you can do. All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks, I believe.